Setting: at most psychic readings. Occasion: Jenny is visiting a tarot card reader in London.
Welcome and sit down. What can I help you with today?
Hi. So basically, today I'm here.
No, speak no more. I can sense a dark cloud above you. You seem troubled. You are dealing with a great conundrum, are you not?
Oh my god, how did you know?
Oh, this is merely the beginning. Sit down. Shall we get started? The first card here are the lovers. This is you and your husband.
But I'm not married.
Oh, but you will be.
Oh, when?
At some point in the future.
Oh.
Oh, and here we have the magician. This, my dear, means that there is a change coming your way. A new wind blows.
Oh, we'll be rescued. Will we be able to get rid of Trump?
No, I said a wind, not a typhoon.
Oh.
But you might find, like, some money or maybe a voucher for Nando's, which is always quite nice. Here is... the Hanged Man.
Oh, God, will I die?
Huh? No, don't be silly. The Hanged Man symbolizes your inner strength to urgently do something. You're stressing about something. You don't know whether to do it or not. Well, love, listen to me. You need to relax. Whatever happens, happens. So you should not try and control everything and just let it be.
Just let it be?
Yes, just let it be. And now, finally, the last card.
Well, what's this then?
Oh, well, this one, well, it's death.
Oh, what? God, will I die? Is this me?
Oh no, don't be daft. Such a drama queen you are. No, this is not about you. I mean, it could be, but also could not be. It might be one for your friends or family.
Oh, God!
Or maybe just someone you have met, like someone around you, close to you, somewhat close.
When will they die exactly?
Huh? Well, at some point, like, you know, when they died, that's when.
What?
Listen, love, that's all we have time for, unfortunately, but the next customer is waiting, so come on, hurry up, you know, time is money. Shoo, get out.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Hi guys, and welcome back to today's episode. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are Most Mosaic.
Woo! Woo, woo, woo.
Alright, so what's been happening? Well, we're about a month into 2017 and a week into Trump's administration, and, well, things are already going freaking ace.
It's a bloody old mess.
Yes, indeed. But even if globally, in terms of world politics, things are looking a bit dark and gloomy, I hope personally you're doing a bit better, hopefully. So Sarah, what have you been up to this week? What's new?
Well, what's new in my world? I basically went to watch Drake on Wednesday. I don't know if you read about it.
Oh my God, yes you did.
Yeah. So that was the highlight of my year, even though we're 2 months in, you know. Bloody love the guy. But so I don't know if you read on the Evening Standard, but it was actually the night that Travis Scott fell through the stage. And Drake ended up giving us all a refund, so that was quite funny. He basically came up on the stage really excited, rapping, whatever, and then all of a sudden he just disappears because there was a netting on the stage and it was covering up a hole where this big moon prop was meant to come out from. It was like his closing act special thing, and I was really looking forward to seeing it, but he basically broke it by falling on top of it, the bloody idiot. And Drake was like, guys, there have been technical glitches, I can't bring out the moon, and also, you know, Travis Scott just fell, so you're all going to get a refund, every single one of you.
Oh, bless him, that's so sweet.
Yeah, we were so, like, bloody happy about that. And then, and then also he came down from the stage and was complimenting girls that were there. So he was like, girl, I see you wearing this and this and that. And I was like, I really wish I got the more expensive tickets because it would have been so worth just getting a compliment from Drake. I would have literally fainted and died and just, yeah.
Also, you would have gotten the refund. So.
Exactly, and those tickets cost like 200 quid. So... yeah, that really put me off. But next time.
And he sounds like the sweetest guy as well. Like, I don't know too much about him, but in terms of like what I read, the way he sort of comes across, he just seems like the most genuinely sweetest guy.
Oh yeah, he's renowned as being like, you know, the big softie. Charlemagne, who's this radio personality, he's always taking the piss out of him. I don't know if you've seen that page called Drake the Type on Twitter. So it's just taking the piss out of him being a massive softie. So it's like, you know, Drake's the kind of guy that rides a horse with both legs on one side, or like if you cry on a Drake album, it unlocks a bonus track. There are really, really hilarious ones, just taking the absolute piss. Drake, the type of guy to open the door for himself and be like, "Why, thank you." But I love him. I love that softy side of him.
Especially in that industry where you have like a lot of these guys who sort of uber macho, who are acting tougher than they are, and then you've got, you know, Drake put in the middle, who's the complete opposite.
Yeah, exactly. He's setting a good example, I think, for guys to be more in touch with their feelings and more sensitive and, you know, nicer to women. You go, Drake. Yeah.
I have to say though that I'm not the biggest fan of concerts. Like, I've been to a few gigs in my life, but I just feel like if I had done something else on that day with my friends, I'm sure I would have had just as much fun.
Really?
I don't know,
I think a concert's a different vibe though. You know, it's like a collective big bubble of excited energy, and it's more exciting personally, don't you think?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe I just been to the wrong concerts or something. Like, I remember being at Ed Sheeran's I think it was the Multiply tour. And everyone was going crazy and singing along and jumping up and down, and I was having fun, and he was good. He was doing a good job, but I was just sort of like, I couldn't help but sort of look around and just,
what am I doing with my life?
No, not that, but more of a, oh look, they're having fun, aren't they? Okay.
What? So you're one of those creepy observers at concerts? It's like, oh,
yeah, like I like people watching. But I didn't know that I like it to the extent that I'd be doing it at a concert.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like the most awkward place to do it because it's full of just like sex pests and people just ogling and it's like, you're one of them now. But yeah, I know what you mean. There are moments at concerts where everyone's like really loving a certain song and you're just sitting there like, nope, I don't actually know the words. Like, I'm not that much of a diehard fan and this is a bit awkward. There are moments like that. So I know what you mean, but... Yeah.
That said, I do want to see a few people live, just like Beyoncé and Justin Timberlake, especially those two, because I think it's just going to be such a spectacle, their show. Yeah. Like, it's going to be a proper show. It's not just going to be a dude with a guitar, which is fine. Yeah. If they do a good job, that's fine. But with them, it's just, you know, it's going to be a show.
Yeah, definitely with Beyonce. Bloody hell. She's like the full package.
Alright guys, so on with today's actual show. So today it's all about the strange. So we're talking aliens, the occult, mysticism, the supernatural, the paranormal. So to start us off, we thought we'd start with a little round of 5 and 5. Yeah. But do a creepy special if you will. So Sarah, do you wanna take it away?
Yeah, I will. Okay, so number 1 is, what is the most traumatizing story or conspiracy you've ever heard of?
I'm not really a big fan of conspiracy theories. I do tend to...
Same.
Sorry, I'm just losing my voice. I do tend to stay away from them. Oh, that said, you know, you recommended to me Adam Curtis's Hypernormalization?
Yeah.
So that one was quite a disturbing documentary for me because I think what scares me is not, you know, those little, you know, what ghost sightings or these kind of things, but it's the big conspiracies where the government is involved.
Yeah.
And that really freaks me out, the concept that the reality that I think is real has been constructed by sort of the big man. I remember this bit, they were talking in the documentary Hypernormalization, they were talking about how the Reagan administration worked together with Gaddafi and how they were sort of managing, they called it perception management. Yeah. So they were creating sort of these false stories and fake news to distract sort of the common people from the real world. And I was like, what if that's real? What if what we think what we see, what we perceive in the news, what we read in the
completely
news.
made up. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that documentary was really traumatizing, disturbing for me. Honestly, it actually kept me up a few nights. Not kept me up, but it was just like on my mind a lot.
It did.
And it also spoke about a lot of human behavior that we can definitely relate to. You know, like people addicted to drugs and Xanax, and that whole epidemic of people using the internet to escape, and you know, this cyber world being created. I can't remember what it was called. It was just like this whole fake internet world where everyone was like, you know, these like sim characters, and it did really hit a nerve, I think.
You kind of grow up with the idea that politicians aren't, you know, the most honest ones, but still realizing that the entire world, everything you know, everything you think you know, is false. That it just completely messes with you, though. Like, it puts you, because you're put in a position where you can't do anything. You're literally helpless. Yeah,
and it's brought up
really what.
Yeah, I think it's something that we're really living at the moment, isn't it? The whole, you know, the new terminology that's been brought up, alternative truths. It's like everything is really a lie, and we just feel completely like, you know, everyone's deceiving us, and it's horrible. On to the next
Happy
one.
days.
What did you find most scary as a child? So anything that gave you nightmares or really creeped you out?
I have to say I'm one of those lucky ones who doesn't really have nightmares. But that said, there was a time in my, like, when I was younger, like, I think it was about for a month or something, where I constantly had the same dream every night. And it was like that I was chased down by a monster, or by, you know, some form of alien or something. Something evil that would chase me down, and I was like in a fiery pit or something.
Okay.
Like hell. Like, every night I'd have that dream, and I was so scared to go to bed, and I'd like eat my dinner really slow. I'd do anything to not go to bed. But apart from that, here's I don't know if you watched X-Files when you grew up, but I was sort of one of those kids that did. And I still remember that one episode where they had it was an alien or a monster of some sort that could get under your skin, so you can see it crawling beneath your skin. And that thought, like, that's why still I can't stand bugs or insects. It just creeps me out.
God,
just because of that, because I imagine them sort of finding some way into my body,
like some
through my
kind
nose.
of hole. Yeah,
exactly.
No, I know what you mean. Like, that kind of stuff really irks my soul, you know, like insects getting into your skin and stuff like that. I remember watching a video once of this woman, I think it was a homeless person in America, and she had maggots growing in her gums. Yeah, even thinking about it now, it gives me goosebumps. And it's one of those videos that I will never forget, and I wish I never watched it. That literally gave me post-traumatic stress. But yeah, disgusting. And as a kid, you always think, oh my god, a spider's gonna, like, you know, it might actually get into a scar or just an open wound in your skin and lay eggs in there. That was like, you know, a while.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Everyone used to make that kind of stuff up in primary school and mess around with it and tease each other about it. But
it's funny how that stays with you, though. Like, a few stories just always stay with you, and sort of the insect thing is one of those that most people share.
Yeah.
Like that phobia of insects and bugs.
All right then, next one. If you had to make up a creepy story to turn a guy off you, what would it be?
I think I'd just go quite basic and just tell him that I'm crazy or crazier than I am.
Yeah.
Sort of, I don't know, maybe tell him that I can see ghosts and spirits and that I can talk to them.
Okay.
Maybe that'll... Oh, no. You know what I do? I tell him that I'm possessed by someone, by like a spirit.
Yeah.
By someone really messed up, like Nero or Hitler. That I hear voices that are telling me to do, like, you know, really evil things.
Oh my
Hopefully
God.
that'll do the... Yeah, that'd definitely do the trick.
Yeah, that would be really scary. Imagine dating someone who sleepwalks a lot. I think even that on its own would scare me.
Really?
Yeah, imagine if you're sleeping next to them and all of a sudden they get up and they're like, but their eyes are closed and they just start doing shit and you're like, are you okay? I'd probably just run into the bathroom, lock myself in there and just wait for it to be over. That stuff scares me.
Oh my God, I've never considered that someone who sleepwalks. A cousin of mine, he sleeps. He talks in his sleep, which is always quite funny because you can actually converse with him. You get like all these secrets out, and like sometimes he just shout things, which is quite annoying. So whenever he stays at our place, he just like shout like, yeah, exactly, like no, don't. It's like, bloody hell.
I remember my cousin stayed over as well. Like he came from Italy about a month ago or whatever, and he swore in his sleep. Like he literally just would swear in Italian like that or whatever. And my mum was like, you keep saying that, like swearing about people. Who are you talking about? And he's like, I don't know. Like he just had a laugh about it. Okay, so next one. If you had to be part of a sect, which one would it be and why?
I don't think there's any sect out there, or any sect that I know of, that I would like to join, like, Jehovah's Witnesses or Scientology.
Are they a sect?
Are they not? I'd call them a sect, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I guess so. I just thought I just call them like a religious group, a subculture of people. I don't know if they're actually a sect. A subculture. Yeah. Sorry
if I offended anyone, but yeah, no, because I think the problem that I have with them is that a lot of these sects are all about mind control and sort of brainwashing. They tell you what to do, what not to do, how to act, how not to act. I think that would really freak me out. I'm not good with authority in that way.
I think like secretly, the word sect. It's quite ominous, isn't it? It's quite scary and dark.
Yeah. Sort of imagine like, people in capes or hoods or whatever.
Yeah.
And praying to
Around
Satan or whatever.
Yeah,
exactly. But I guess I just make up my own society or my own sect.
Yeah.
That's sort of all about, like, centered around the idea of hedonism. Maybe there is one out there, guys. If any of you listening are aware of
let us know. I want to join that
sect.
Yeah,
exactly. Please email us mostmosaic@gmail.com, guys.
Yeah, please do. Oh my god, that reminds me. My friend was this was ages ago when we were like really young, like around 15 or whatever, and we used to hang around Hyde Park, like when it got late and stuff. And she was there with another one of our friends, and they were just messing around and whatever and just walking through the park, and then all of a sudden they saw all these people in like black hoods just chanting and stuff in Hyde Park in London. Yeah, and that scared the crap out of them. They just started running as fast as they could to get out. I don't know, people probably get up to that kind of stuff in wooded areas in London, like burning, I don't know, ram's heads and, I don't know, worshipping, I don't know, what do they worship? It's just creepy. Sects are creepy. Sects, not sex. By the way, yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. I just imagine like really powerful people being in that sect. Like in that Hyde Park story, probably like Boris Johnson.
Yeah, I know.
And Cameron.
A few famous people live
like
around
the
there, like Hyde Park. Yeah. Okay, so number 5. If you were a fraudulent tarot card reader, what kind of mischief would you get up to?
Oh, you know what I do? I do like a classic Robin Hood, kind of Robin Hood type of thing. I'd probably move my business to a really posh area, like Chelsea or something.
Yeah.
And set up a business there and just try to lure in all the rich and bored housewives and just suck them dry.
Oh, I like that.
Just take from the rich, basically. That'd be the Robin Hood part. The non-Robin Hood part would be that I won't give it to the poor, but I just keep it for myself.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
Probably make a few donations here and there, but...
You evil witch.
I'm also one of the needy, bruv.
Sounded too good to be true at first. I was like, this is so not Jenny. She's going to keep the money, but yeah.
Right, so time for my questions. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Number 1. What is the creepiest, most supernatural or paranormal experience you've ever had? Like any ghost sightings or alien visitations?
I've actually never seen a ghost, thankfully. I've never been like that, I don't know, high or drunk or whatever, that I've started hallucinating. But I used to live in a house actually that had a really bad aura. I've never actually seen anything there, but I had a friend staying over once and she was like, oh my god, I just saw something like dark in your, like something standing in your living room, and it was just like a shadow or something. I was like, yeah, whatever, but I was really creeped out by it. Anyways, we moved out like a few months after. I did actually once in Dubai, as you know, we were just messing around, we were young, we tried the Ouija board, but it was complete bollocks, because it was a cardboard cut out with like a few letters on it. It was like a few guys and girls, and the guy that wanted to do it was like, okay guys, we need a girl to take part and we need a guy as well. It's probably a way to like chat us up or get us to go. And then he was like, okay, so if there's anything out there, please say something. And I think there were some people in the bushes messing about. So they were just like, I don't know what they were doing. They were probably getting up to naughtiness. And then we saw them there and we were like, what the hell? And it just threw us completely off it. We started running out of this. It was like this big outdoor garden park area.
Oh.
And we were like, what the hell? Yeah. But we never ended up doing it properly.
It's always been one of the things that I've always wanted to try out, though. Like, as a sort of, as a laugh, but none of my friends were into it. They either thought that it's sort of bad juju or they just couldn't be asked.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people don't really like messing with that kind of stuff. They'd rather stay
exactly,
away from it. Because a lot of people are like, oh, well, ghosts linger on. Like with Stonehenge, apparently, I knew this guy that went there with some friends and whatever, and he was like, since then, I feel like I've had something like lingering on me, like a dark spirit or something since then.
Like a ghost latched onto him.
Yeah, but to be fair, he smoked a lot of weed, so it probably had something to do with that.
Okay, so number 2, what's your favourite horror film, or maybe even like a horror book, or like a, you know, a story that you've read?
I would say The Ring. I love The Ring. I've always loved it.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just has it's more of a psychological thriller than something that's just complete fictional, you know, crap that you can't relate to. Because I think it had the story of the girl who came back from the dead after being neglected as a child, and she was like back for vengeance. But yeah, that's a horror film that I've always loved.
Yeah, that is a classic. I think it's one of the first horror films that actually stayed with me, and where I was like proper impressed. If you could see and speak to ghosts, what would you do with that power?
Oh God, I don't really know. I think maybe I would tell them about all the people that have been just assholes, and just be like, yeah, can you just go and haunt them for me? Thanks, babe. Just do that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, karma, man.
So evil.
Serving it in ghostly form. Yeah, I think that's what I would do. Or I'd just, if I was in a good mood, I'd act as a medium and just maybe charge people to speak to their loved ones or whatever that have died. But it depends what mood I'm in. See, it all depends on my mood, whether I'm feeling evil
if you're PMSing,
nice. Yeah, exactly.
You better not mess with Sarah
Girl,
and her crew of ghosts.
Exactly.
Okay, if you could be a supernatural creature, what would it be? So, anything made up, like a vampire, the Grim Reaper, a mermaid, the Ice Queen. Anything.
The Ice Queen. Me, the Ice Queen. Darling, you're icier than Antarctica, okay? So don't get me started on who's icier. Okay, in all seriousness, I think it would have to be something that can fly or maybe breathe underwater. I think there's something really liberating about flying or swimming endlessly. I'd love to do that.
Agreed. The underwater thing is really appealing.
But yeah, I mean,
so either a mermaid or like
I'd like
Superman.
to be like a mermaid queen or maybe even a witch, like a really wise, nice witch. You know, like the witch from the OA. So she's like this Arabic witch, and she speaks like 10 languages. And she lives between life and death, and she's always kind of giving people these really good tips on how to live a better life and stuff. She's really bloody cool.
Aww.
But yeah,
well, you've got the witch down, just work on the good part and then you'll be there.
Shut up.
If you could speak to an alien, so if you have an open channel of communication with some other alien civilization up in space, and if you were given one question that you could ask them, or one thing that you'd like to tell them, maybe like a thing that you'd like to experience, maybe a song or a book or a painting, what would it be?
I think, you know what, I think I'd give them some pearls of wisdom, and I'd probably tell them how we've messed up as humans. So I'd say to them, number 1, don't ever include social media into your society. Yeah, all mobile phones, and try and experience face-to-face interaction for as long as possible, just because we've stopped doing that for ages. And
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I'd just say to them, stay away from anything human that might corrupt you. I might introduce them to some good music, actually, like some Michael Jackson, definitely, and some Drake as well. Be like, yeah, check that stuff out, guys. I'd be a good influence.
Okay, that was pretty much our intro into our today's topic. So when we sort of came up with the topic for today's show, we were talking about sort of fringe phenomena, we were talking about extraterrestrial, and the first thing that came to my mind was aliens and UFOs. So I did a bit of research, and I was sort of trying to come up with or find some really good stories about UFO sightings and alien visitations. And I did stumble across some really, really good stories of like, you know, of a person who sort of disappeared for 2 or 3 days. No one could find them, and then like a week later they were found somewhere in the woods completely naked with sort of their memory erased.
Drugs.
Well, that's sort of the conclusion that you do come up to, doesn't it? Yeah. Another one that I found interesting, and I found interesting for one particular reason, is all the stories that I read, it was sort of like a single person, you know, experiencing these things. And it's easy to end up with the conclusion that, you know, it was drugs or drinks or whatever. But I stumbled upon the story of Barney and Betty Hill.
Okay.
So this is a couple that claims to have been abducted by aliens in 1961.
Are they from the
together.
US?
Yes,
I feel
exactly.
like they're
that's
always
it.
from the US. Like, you don't really get anyone that's been abducted in like
Here,
Poland
in
or
Essex.
the UK. Yeah.
So basically what happened to this couple is they were driving back from a vacation in Canada, and on their way home, while they were driving back, they saw something that they couldn't explain. So I'm just going to read out sort of the account of what happened. At about 10:15 p.m, 3 miles south of the city of Lancaster, Barney noticed what appeared to be a bright star which seemed to move erratically. Barney pointed this out to Betty, and they both began to keep track of the object. But as they kept watching it, they noticed something weird, so they stopped the car. Ooh. And Barney, armed with binoculars, he did the unspeakable and got out of the car, trying to get a better look at what the object was exactly. Which is a crazy thing. Like, if you see something like that, the last thing you're gonna do if you're scared is get out of the car. You just run for it, don't you?
Past it, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what he did. He got out of the car. He moved. He sort of, you know, tried to get a look at what the thing was, and he saw this object, and it seemed to be moving towards him. When it got to about 100 feet of him, he could see occupants inside, so he could see like figures inside that moving thing. So he just got absolutely scared and ran back to his car where his wife still was, and they just legged it. But here's the odd thing, that made me quite ugh. So a trip that normally should have taken them 3 hours, took them 7 hours. So they'd lost 4 hours of their time, and neither of them could account for that missing time. And another thing is when they got back home, they noticed a shiny circle on their car, which wasn't there the previous day. So they got curious, and they got a compass. I was sort of experimenting with it, and they noticed that whenever they moved close to that circle, close to the spot with the compass, the needle would go crazy. It just whirl around rapidly.
Okay.
But whenever they moved away from the car and took the compass away, the needle would drop down. Obviously, it could all be false. It could all be fabricated. But
I mean, I don't know. Stories like that do creep me out a bit. But I personally do not believe in aliens at all. Well, intelligent life. No, I don't believe in that. No.
I'm like the biggest skeptic. And there's just no scientific proof for there being intelligent life. There is, if you look at it from a mathematical point of view, it's very, very likely that there is some form of life in space. Just looking at sort of, you know, at the rate at which stars form in our galaxy, if you then consider how many of these stars have planets and how many of those planets are inhabitable, I think just in our galaxy it's as high as 100 billion inhabitable planets in our galaxy alone.
Yeah, so I think I just don't think there's anything out there that's similar to human life, like there is, you know, intelligent life. I just think it's probably, you know, a ball of bacterial slime, and that's
exactly,
it, like some kind of fungus or just something that's considered a plant, maybe. I mean, that's, I think, as far as it gets. So yeah, with things like that, I just think it's either a figment of our imagination, you know, because we've had aliens in so many fictional stories, you know, in Hollywood, in soaps, and just like loads of things that we watch on TV. And also when I watched Hypernormalization, that solidified that thought for me as well. You know, when it said the CIA used them as a decoy, so a cover up for weapon testing, and things like that, and then they would pay people to vouch for these sightings and say that they got abducted and things like that. And people have come forward saying, yeah, the CIA did actually pay us to come up with these stories and, you know, say that we witnessed stuff and we were part of an abduction. So for me, it's just I think it's fun. That's what it is. Alien stories are fun and they're entertaining, but I would never go crazy with conspiracy theories. I've never believed in them.
But what I find really interesting is, like, if you look at the numbers, according to statistics, about 1/3 of the US population and 1/3 of the UK population, and all over, about half of the worldwide population believes in alien visitation.
How?
Which is not a small number.
It's a small number.
It's not.
No, it's not. Exactly. That's not.
Half of the population actually believes that there is intelligent life out there, which is massive.
That's crazy. I've never actually met anyone that believes in aliens and stuff, but I've never actually had a conversation about UFOs. I feel like it's kind of an expired idea. People are just a bit sick of it and a bit over it.
Yeah,
So
I used to think of
surprises
it as sort of like a fringe phenomenon as well, but looking at the numbers, that is a lot of people. And another thing, when I sort of, you know, did the research, sort of read up on these stories, is that there seems to be a few reoccurring themes with these stories, which makes me think that they're just all made up and sort of borrowed from each other. Like, if you look at most of these accounts, these aliens, they have like really big eyes and dome-like shaped head. They're all bald. None of them have hair, like either facial hair or on their head. Like, how come that none of these aliens have like a massive beard? Why do we never hear about like a hipster alien? Do you know what I mean?
Oh my god, it's probably the idea that out there, like, head cannot possibly grow for some scientific reason. Like, it just does not grow. You're just slimy
in space.
Yeah, you all look the same and lack much identity. It's just the way it is. It's the downside of being an alien.
And they're always sort of, you know, took into these UFOs that are very hospital-like setting, and they're always probed and experimented on. Why do these aliens never want to just chill? Maybe have a cup of tea or have a drink.
I know, they always have this master plan and like agenda to just like take over the world and kill us all,
impregnate virgins, or sort of, you know,
exactly,
shove things up mates' ass. Like, what is that?
Yeah,
that must be the height of narcissism, though, that you think, you know, there is this intelligent life form that has created a device that can travel through space. They're that advanced. They've gone through all the work and trouble to create this device and fly to Earth and visit us. And the only thing they want to do, the only goal is to have sex with humans.
I know, right? That's
like,
literally the
how
only thing.
Absolutely full of yourself are you that you think even aliens want to shag you?
I know. Well, we are bloody attractive compared to them, so there you go. Okay, well, up next, I was meant to talk a bit about the Illuminati, and I just have to put out a disclaimer. I don't really care that much about the Illuminati. So, I mean, it's obviously interesting to know about them, but that interest and curiosity wears off after like 2 seconds. I'm just not that bothered. Yeah. And I always meet people that are so intensely into it. They are consumed by conspiracy theories, especially the Illuminati. Yeah. And it's fine. It's good to be aware that, you know, there might be an elite group out there that control, you know, politics and religion and the corporate world and stuff. But in terms of like improving your life, like in a quantifiable way, that doesn't really do anything for you at all. I really do not care, to be honest. Have you ever met someone who's just so madly into conspiracy theories?
Yeah.
What, doesn't that piss you off?
It doesn't piss me. It just makes me feel a bit sad for them. Because, I mean, why are you looking for this alternative reality?
Yeah. It tends to be...
and finding faults where there are none. I mean, it's fun to sort of, you know, look at people like Jay-Z or Beyoncé or Rihanna. I think even Bowie was said to be a member of Illuminati, and sort of, you know, construct these theories, but just chill.
Yeah. It tends to be a lot of men that are really into conspiracy theories. I've never met a woman that's like wild about conspiracy theories, like, yeah, have you heard this, and da-da-da.
Yeah, well, that's basically because women have proper issues to care about, like
Have
equal
lives.
rights.
True.
Yeah.
They have that extra free time to worry about inconsequential crap. But
Exactly.
yeah, so
What I have to say that I don't really know much about Illuminati. I think they mentioned it a bit in that Dan Brown film, but I can't say that I know too much about it.
okay, so the Illuminati.
Illuminati
I'm rolling
101.
hard right now. So the Illuminati is given to, the name is basically, it means the enlightened ones, or enlightened, and it's a name given to several groups, both real and fictitious. Historically, the name usually refers to the Bavarian Illuminati, an Enlightenment era secret society founded on the 1st of May 1776. The society's goals were to oppose superstition and religious influence over the world, and public life, and abuses of state power. So yeah, I mean, there are a few celebrities that are said to be part of the Illuminati. So a few of them are Adele. Adele was reportedly recruited by the Illuminati early in her career and often uses a one-eye symbolism. So that's another thing, the eye thing. Have you seen that? The Eye of Providence.
Yeah. The pyramid eye, yeah.
Yeah, so that's seen quite a bit everywhere. It's quite interesting because, you get the evil eye as well in like Middle Eastern and Arab culture and stuff. And I've always thought, is there a link or something? So it says here that it's often surrounded by rays of light or glory and usually enclosed by a triangle. It represents the eye of God watching over mankind or divine providence. In the modern era, a notable depiction of the eye is the reverse of the Great Seal of the United States, which appears on the United States $1 bill.
How do you recruit a person? Is it like a WhatsApp message going, "Oh, you want to join?" Oh
my god, don't even joke like that. I basically saw this girl, there was this girl who was vlogging, and she's not that famous, but she's getting quite popular on social media and stuff. And this video said basically the Illuminati tried to, I don't know, take me on and initiate me or whatever. And she said that it literally came through WhatsApp. Like she started with WhatsApp messages from these strange people that were like,
oh bloody hell.
Yeah, that were like, hey, are you interested in working for really big brands like Prada and Gucci and da-da-da, because she's into fashion blogging. And he was like, oh, we can make you, really quite famous and all of this stuff. And the messages just carried on, and they were weirder and weirder, and they just carried on for months, and then finally she blocked them and stuff, and then she posted this video saying that the Illuminati tried to hire her. So yeah, apparently they do come through WhatsApp, guys. So yeah, might need to add them to your block list. But yeah,
what
so
absolute bullshit though. Like, I don't know, I can't take that seriously.
I know, neither can I. I just don't.
I mean,
really...
if something like the Illuminati exists, and if the, if it really is the sort of this elite group of world leaders, or industry leaders, the last thing they're going to do is chat someone up on WhatsApp, and especially like a fashion blogger. Like, what the hell?
I know, but
it just seems
just far-fetched.
Yeah.
I mean, you do get vloggers that are really big nowadays, and you're like, how the hell did you get big? And yeah, I do get a bit suspicious about that. But even if it is the Illuminati, it's like, okay, well, I don't know if there's anything dark about it. Is it linked to satanic sex? I don't really know. I just feel like it could just be, it could just simply be a group of elite people that want to, solidify that power and add to it by, hiring people and getting people to join and initiating them. I don't know how dark it actually really gets.
But there are so many, especially artists, entertainers, that are sort of accused by sort of these uber Christians to be an agent of the devil. It's been ongoing for so long. Like, if you look at even like Presley and the Beatles, from that time till now, to Beyoncé. And there's also, I don't know which artist, I think it's John Lennon, or maybe it's the Beatles, where they said that if you play the song backwards,
oh yeah, I remember this.
It's like a satanic praying. Just so much conspiracy around this. I think Lady Gaga is another one, but she apparently even confessed to it herself.
Oh, really? What did she
So
say?
apparently she said that she has the spirit of her dead aunt living inside of her.
Oh, Lord.
And she also said that the spirit of Alexander McQueen wrote a song for her called Judas. So probably the spirit possessed her and made her write that song. Obviously, the fact that the song was called Judas, like these Uber Christians must have had an absolute field day with that fact. It's just so funny. And obviously, we all know that Beyoncé is an agent of Lucifer.
Of course, yeah. She's like,
of course she is.
Because of Jay-Z. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of artists they're quite wild, aren't they, with their imagination and things
but
like
this
that.
one is really, really funny though. So I did some research on this and I stumbled upon this blog of this guy, and I'm just going to read it out to you because it's just bloody hilarious. So Beyoncé confessed that she's controlled by an external force. She calls the entity Sasha Fierce. Now for those who don't know Beyoncé, she does have an alternative persona that she's created, that she called Sasha Fierce. But it's nothing like demonic possession. But yeah, he sort of goes on writing. So he wrote that, she admitted that she's controlled by an external force. She calls the entity Sasha Fierce. She said that it takes control of her whenever she performs on stage. Oh, and it has even been said, like, by some authority officials, and it even has been said that she was angry after performance because Sasha Fierce, the demon, unbeknownst to her, threw a ring she was wearing into the audience. Oh, okay. So probably like Beyoncé woke up after the show like, where the hell is the ring? Sasha Fierce, we need to have a chat. You cannot do this. Jay-Z gave me that as an anniversary present. How dare you?
Oh my god, that would be nuts to see.
It's just the funniest thing that people come up with. It's just bloody crazy.
But yeah, celebrities get that a lot, don't they? Just people saying that, a lot of them say that they've had visitations from ghosts or they have a demon that possesses them. I don't know if you heard, but there was a story about Bobby Brown saying he had sex with a ghost. So he had this interview where he was like crying his eyes out and he was talking about, how his daughter sadly passed away and Whitney Houston as well. And so
this is quite a recent interview then?
Yeah, it's very recent. It was just last summer actually. And it says that he had sex with a ghost in a mansion, and it was basically in a mansion that Whitney Houston had bought for him in Atlanta. And he said, I bought this mansion in Georgia. This was a really, really spooky place. One time I woke up and, a ghost. I was being mounted by a ghost. I wasn't high. I was not tripping. Oh my God, I don't know what I would do if that happened to me. I'd probably be like, can you please stop? I don't know if this is illegal.
Could you please, pretty please stop raping me, ghost?
I always feel like these things are a consequence of heavy drug use though, or like like the remnants of drug abuse. I don't think he's on drugs now, but I think that stuff affects your brain in has long-term effects.
Absolutely, just messes up your brain. And you probably think that it's true, but it's just your brain playing tricks on you and you're not sort of aware of that. You can't realise that.
Exactly. I mean, I've definitely met a few people that have been or are massively into hallucinogens, and they claim that they see people and they enter different realms in their sleep, which is pretty creepy. Like, I remember this guy once, it was a friend's cousin, who said that this man painted in black would visit him in his dreams, and he'd experience a lot of like he'd sleepwalk a lot and things like that. It's probably best to stay away.
I remember when my nephew was quite young, and he wasn't really able to speak that well. I remember he'd speak to someone, or he'd sort of make these symbols or gestures to someone who wasn't in the room. So he'd sort of he wouldn't look at me, but like next to me and sort of like talk.
Oh my God,
and
that
is just really, really creepy.
Isn't
though.
there like
obviously
an old
like deep
tale that says that babies can see dead people or just
babies and
entities.
animals and that you sort of once you grow up you sort of lose that ability, and maybe that's what the drugs do to these people then, that they once again regain that ability
their childlike powers.
I
mean, as great as that sounds, tell people to stay away from stuff like that, because I have had a few friends that have they've gone down that route and it's messed with their heads, and they have said that they've seen ghosts or people speak to them when they're, you know, just in a room on their own, which is quite scary. I think it can also be like a positive experience as well. I don't know if you've heard of ayahuasca. It's like this Peruvian, really intense, powerful drug.
Yeah. No, I remember. I think we were watching like Chelsea Handler's.
Yeah,
Chelsea does.
She has
documentary, and she went to Peru, and yeah.
Did you watch that?
Oh no, I didn't. But I remember like that we watched the trailer together or something, and we were sort of talking about it.
So I watched it, and it was quite interesting. So she basically took this drug, and she said that she saw her childhood through like a phantasmagorical lens. From that, she realised that she was treating her sister wrong, and she had to sort out all these issues with her, and it gave her like a different perspective.
Like an epiphany. Yeah,
I don't know, I feel like there is kind of a different world that you do enter when you're on drugs, and it can be positive, but it can also be very scary and intense.
Yeah. You know who you are and the way you think. Yeah,
and like it makes you think that you're entering this mystical cosmic world, and reaching your vocation and higher being in life. What do you think about that? Do you reckon you would ever do it? Like if you're going through a midlife crisis, just go to the Amazonian jungle and take some ayahuasca?
I don't know. I've never been sort of into drugs. I just don't see the appeal in it. Because to me, the main problem I have is that it's about sort of losing control. Mm-hmm. And that's what these people I suppose seek out, that they sort of just want to sort of let go. But I'm one of these people who doesn't like to let go. I like to be in control of everything. So I don't like entering the unknown, especially not mentally. Mm-hmm. And emotionally.
Because it's quite scary when you're not in control. I think that's when it turns from like a good trip to a scary trip. Yeah, because obviously, I mean, you can have like this amazing experience, and you know, you get out of it, you found God or whatever, and life is amazing again. But it can also turn the other way, and you can just have like the worst trip ever. Yeah, and start seeing things, and you're haunted
just makes
by
things
it for
even
a while.
worse. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm all into, you know, self-awakening experiences. Probably not drug induced though. So just through other ways. Okay, so another topic that we should probably touch on is religion and how it veers off into, you know, the mystical and superstition. My personal experience of superstition is quite strong, just because very prominent in Italian culture and also in Arabic/Muslim culture. And I don't know if you know much about the evil eye.
I can't say that I do. I mean, no.
Really? Because I think I've read a bit about it, and it says that they have these talismans in Asian culture as well. So you have it quite a bit in Turkey. I don't know if you've seen, like, you know, the
hand of Fatima.
It's like a talisman thing. It's quite popular in the Middle East and stuff. And it also in Islam, there is the belief that you can wish bad things onto someone just by looking at them. Like, you can do that to an object, a person, or an animal. So that basically we have this thing where you say mashallah, which means you know, kind of like blessed by God, so that when you look at it, you don't really, you know, you don't put any ill wishings onto it or anything.
Yeah, we have that in Asian code. We have something similar. So you know the bindi.
Yeah,
that actually has that meaning as well. So that's supposed to keep the evil eye away. So a lot of times when babies are born, when you have a newborn child, for the first 30 days or 31 days after its birth, you're not supposed to visit the child.
Okay.
So after 31 days, you do sort of like a little celebration, whatever. And the priest comes in, and after that, you sort of, you know, you have visitors coming in. But even then, you put like a little bindi on the child's forehead, so no one casts an evil eye on it. Yeah.
Yes, it's something that quite a lot of people do actually, and even in Italy as well, we have something called the cornicello, which is it basically translates into little horn. So it's literally a devil's horn. So you see people carrying around like little devil horns as key rings, or they have it hanging up in their house.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite interesting actually. So it's meant to, you know, ward off any evil eye or anything like that. And you see people also, it's like a hand sign as well used in Italy, and you basically take out like your first finger and your pinky finger. Like if anyone says anything like, I don't know, oh, my hair might fall off today. And then someone will do that sign, like, God willing, it won't happen kind of thing. That hand sign.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're ever in Italy and you see someone do that, don't get offended. They're not trying to, I don't know, like poke you or whatever.
You have something similar in South Asian or in Tamil culture where I didn't even know about it. I was talking to my sister-in-law yesterday, and she had like a string of nightmares for a while. I'll touch upon that later, but basically she was so scared that what she did is she cut up a lemon or lime and put it on the house door, and that's supposed to keep spirits away. And she said that after she did it, the nightmare stopped, but you know it might be a placebo thing. But yeah. It's interesting how, you know, all these religions have these very, very common themes.
It's true, and they always say, you know, you shouldn't really put superstition and religion together, but they do intertwine at certain stages.
I find it quite interesting how I think in the Western world, when you look at religion, and then it's a complete different world to sort of seances and tarot card readings and sort of fortune telling. But I think in a lot of Arab religions, you know, Islam and also South Asian religion or South Asian culture, those are intertwined and quite related to each other. Because even in Hinduism, you have these people who can tell you fortune, that, you know, they read your palms or they look at the stars, the star constellations, sort of, you know, tell your fortune and your future.
What do you think about stuff like that? Do you believe in? Are you superstitious? Do you believe in fortune telling?
No, I mean, I'm not religious at all, so no, that, I don't know, the problem I have with superstition as opposed to religion is that to me it's all about money, and that fact really, really irks me. It's just like a business transaction, isn't it? Whether you go to a tarot card reading, whether you go to a medium to, you know, talk to the deceased, it's all about the cash dollar money.
Yeah.
And that really, really annoys me. That just doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, and also there's people get addicted to getting their cards read. You know, there's like telesales that sell fortune readings and things like that.
You tried fortune tarot card reading. Sorry, you tried that once.
Yeah, I was just going to say. So basically, I had an experience with I had a psychic reading done on me, and for me, it was a very positive experience. I only did it once. I'm not addicted to it, but I basically did like a fortune. Like basically, she was meant to read my future and stuff, and she told me all these positive things, and I was like, okay, I took it with a pinch of salt. I'm not like, oh my god, this is definitely going to happen. But what helped me the most was the fact that she gave me some guidance. So it was like a bit of wisdom, like, okay, well, to move on from all this stuff that's happened to you, to move on from this resentment that you've built up, you need to heal. And that's something that I hadn't really factored in to my plans. Okay. I'm always kind of like, just soldier on, you'll get over it, blah blah blah. But I was like, no, actually, I do need to take the time to heal from things that I've been through. And to do that, she actually gave me proper advice. She was like, try meditating, try prayer, try talking to people that you trust. And I'd actually never taken the time to think about that properly. That helped me a lot. So I wouldn't say maybe the future stuff, to be honest. I really don't care about that, but it was more about giving me some clarity on what I should do with my life in terms of like moving forward in a positive way. So that helped me, but I'm not addicted to it. I mean, I am tempted.
But I think you need to have that personality, that quite strong personality, to say, okay, you know what, I did it once, it gave me peace of mind, and now I'm going to move on with my life.
Yeah, no, that's true. It does take a
as opposed to like, because there are a lot of people who easily get down a really, really bad road, and especially because it is about the money. I mean, on one hand, obviously the money is gone, so that's bad. On the other hand, you're starting to base all your major life decisions on these things.
That's not right. That's not right. That's why I'm like, for me, a massive philosophy of life is like everything in moderation. So absolutely everything. I can't go over the top. I don't like addictions and things like that, because it goes wild. But I had my friend's mum who was addicted to texting this like fortune telling service.
Oh no.
And it ran up her bill crazily and things like that. But I mean, it's fine now. But yeah, it is something to really watch out for. But personally, I do believe that some people do have a sixth sense, like they can suss out energies, and I believe in that. But in terms of like reading your future, I'm a bit skeptical.
As someone who I describe as somewhat superstitious, at least compared to me, where do you draw the line? So say you're in a relationship or you're dating someone, what would he have to be into that you say, you know what, no, this is silly, I can't take this?
I don't think I really like people that are... I mean, I'm not really into people heavily being into horoscopes. I know I read into them sometimes, but I don't make it my life. I think I would find that a bit off-putting if a guy was like, oh my God, you know, you're born in the year of the monkey and this means that, or, you know, you're Virgo and da-da-da-da. That would creep me out a bit. And I find
I can't go out and do this because today the horoscope said X, Y, Z.
Yeah, and it's a bit... That reminds me of, you know, like OCD tics as well. Like, oh my God, I can't do this because... Or imagine a guy being like, I can't walk on this side of the street because it's bad luck, or underneath a ladder.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I can imagine an Italian guy being like that in Italy, like very superstitious.
Really?
Yeah, Italian people are very superstitious. But I think if I was there, I would find it more normal. If I was here, I'd just be like... Are you okay?
Get over it.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
But, yeah. What about you? Do you find anything off-putting? I think you probably find any kind of form of superstition.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't have a problem if my partner turns out to be religious, as long as he's not like really crazy into religion. Like, do you know what I mean? Like going to the church every day. I think I'd find that quite off-putting, to be honest. But superstition, like, I'd be okay with your level of spiritualism, superstition that you've got going on, because you're able to sort of, you know, do that and then continue with your life. The moment that becomes their life, or becomes, you know, a factor of how they decide, how they make life decisions, that'd be a no-go for me. Because I suppose I'd feel like I can't really take this person seriously if they actually believe in horoscopes. I can't take you seriously as a person. Like, sorry, like, I don't mean to offend anyone out there, but to me it's just...
Yeah, I mean, I think it's okay sometimes. Like, I'm not going to lie, I do sometimes read my horoscope, but I'm not crazy about it. I mean, if a guy's like joking about it, you know, like, oh, you're a Scorpio and I'm, you know, an Aries, and we suit and whatever, yeah, we can have a laugh about it.
Yeah,
if he
yeah,
literally
sure.
takes that as like legit Bible readings or whatever, I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Nah.
All right, so we talked earlier about sort of alien abductions, ghost sightings, all these paranormal things, and you know, we talked about drugs or drinks being a main reason of that, a main explanation for these hallucinations. But apparently, and I didn't know this, apparently scientists have found out that sleep paralysis is actually the key explanation for these sightings, these experiences. So I don't know, do you have any experiences with sleep paralysis?
No, thankfully I've never ever experienced it. My brother did for a while, and that was quite a scary period for him. But me, no, I've never experienced it. Have you?
No, me luckily neither. Like, I've got quite a few friends and family members who've experienced this. So basically, there are three kinds of sleep paralysis. The first one is intruder, the second one is incubus, and the third one is unusual bodily experiences. So I'm just going to talk you through these. The first one, the intruder, is when you sense a presence of another person or an entity in the room. So basically, just before that, for those who don't really know what sleep paralysis is when your mind has woken up, but your body hasn't really caught up on that yet, so it's still asleep, so you can't move your body, you can't move a toe, you can't even speak or scream. In these intruder stories, my sister-in-law, actually, that happened to her. She woke up. She just moved to her new house, and she dreamed that, you know, my brother was next to her and her baby was in the middle. And she woke up and she saw this guy at the door looking at her. And that was it. That was sort of the end of the dream. She woke up, it was all gone. The next day, she dreamt that this creature, this presence, climbed into the bed.
Oh my god, that stuff scares me. Like anything to do with a bed and people climbing into the bed or popping out from underneath.
Oh, and that's when she did the lime thing. She cut up the lime and put it in front of the house door, and that's when she sort of stopped seeing that presence. Quite a reoccurring theme in these kind of in this form of sleep paralysis is the man in black.
Yeah.
So it's this tall figure, manly figure, that's dressed entirely in black. He's quite a reoccurring person that these victims, I suppose, see. So the second one is the incubus. Now, historically, or mythologically, the incubus is a demon that lies or sits on men and women and tries to have sex with them.
Okay.
Now, in the world of sleep paralysis, it's a bit different. It's a bit, well, I suppose it's a bit more morbid, if you want to call it that. So the motive of an incubus is not to have sex with you, but they sit on your chest and smother you and suffocate you to death.
Oh my god.
So this happened to a uni mate of mine. She moved from Turkey to the UK. So obviously, you know, it's a new country, it's a new language, new people, it's all the unfamiliar. So I guess she was, at least subconsciously, quite anxious. And she started to have these sleep paralysis dreams where she'd wake up and she saw this old woman, the old hag, in the room.
I think you've told me before, yeah.
And like each night it'd get worse and worse. The worst one was she dreamt that the old hag came and sat on her and took a pillow and tried to kill her.
Oh Lord.
And she acts like these people actually experience chest pressure, difficulty breathing, and even physical pain. And she was in actual pain and she couldn't even yell, which is just oh my god. Like she could just sit there and be, I suppose, be killed before she just woke up, which is, oh my god. Yeah.
And how long did that go on for?
She had it for about a month.
That's so weird to think that you probably can cause your own death involuntarily and just through like your mind or I don't know if the old hag really exists, but really it's probably just your mind, blood and your blood pressure and your heart and your brain playing tricks on you. Yeah,
it's crazy. And so the last one, so-called unusual body experience, also known as the vestibular motor hallucination. So in these cases, the paralyzed person feels like they're entering another realm of existence. So they often feel like they have these out-of-body experiences and feel like they're flying or they're floating in space. This is the one where most people have their extraterrestrial experiences where they think they've been abducted. And scientists agree that this is the main reason for these accounts. So it sort of makes you see these people who think that they've been abducted in a completely different light, though, doesn't it? Because sleep paralysis is not a laughing matter. It is something really, really disturbing. Like, for me, I'm so fortunate to be one of those who's never had any problems with sort of sleep.
Just a deep sleeper, just
bad. Yeah, I could literally sleep through a typhoon.
I don't know. I have a weird relationship with sleep. I used to be like you, just sleeping through anything, and then I've never had sleep paralysis, thankfully, because that just sounds horrible. I mean, I've had moments I've had moments where I've been awake. It kind of is maybe sleep paralysis, like when you're when you're awake, your mind is awake, but your body is not awake yet. But it's literally, it's not that, it wasn't that scary for me. It was literally like a 2-second thing. So it's probably my mind getting used to waking up and my body not waking up at the same time. I don't know. But it wasn't that scary. I just literally got over it quite fast. When I've done my research into it, it's always linked to either stress or just having a big, like, monumental event happen or something that's life-changing. Or even just growing, like, because I think my brother went to the doctor and asked the doctor about it, and he was like, oh, it might just be you growing into your adult body, you know, like going from a pubescent boy to an adult. Sometimes it's from that, or it's just mainly your body telling you, in your mind and your body maybe not correlating. And for like a few months I've had extremely vivid dreams that I always remember the day after, but nothing spooky or nothing weird, just like really crazy. And then they stay with you like for the whole day, don't they? Yeah, it's pretty fun actually.
I quite like them myself.
Because it's like
it's like a film for free that you get.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh, my life is so mundane and flipping boring, but at least I have something to
sort of vicariously live through your dreams.
Yeah, no, big time. I love it. I hope it carries on.
Me too. I have to say, it is really, really appealing though. Like, I really like it. Because I mean, luckily I don't get them like in a creepy way. I don't have nightmares, but yeah, they're like really strange. And you just wake up and you just go, how did my brain even come up with that? Like, that is so obscure and odd.
Like, the last one I had was so bizarre. So I was dating a Chinese guy, and we were living in a flat share, but it was literally just one room with like 5 other people, and we had a bathtub in the middle of the room, and I literally had to have a bath or a shower in front of everyone. And I was just doing this for like a good few months, not really thinking anything of it. And then finally I was like, hang on a minute, can we please like get, you know, like some kind of curtain
here?
or something? And he was like, no, this is how we do it in China, you're just gonna have to get used to it, sorry. And I completely complied with that. I was like, yeah, sure babe, like we'll do that. It was such a weird dream.
So funny.
So I keep having these just like really
So you turn into this Chinese hipster.
that just has baths and showers in front of everyone. Yeah. And then
I'm not sure that Chinese people roll like that, but that is
know.
hilarious.
just making up all
And again,
these
it is
things.
just so random.
And then the next night I'll have a dream about ASAP Rocky, and that I met him and we were friends and we went on all of these adventures. And I don't know where my brain's at the moment. Maybe I am growing from my pubescent body into my adult body at a late stage and it's happening to me now. But no, they say also that pregnant women have really wild dreams, and
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like when these really life-changing events happen. I suppose it's sort of how your body, how your mind deals with these things. I'm sure Freud must have said something about that, which I don't know at the moment, but it's probably like...
No, I used to always think that the mind and the body aren't really that interlinked, but recently I was like, yeah, it probably is. Like, now that I'm more positive, I don't get as ill, which is really weird.
Really?
I used to be really tired and ill all the time, but now I haven't been ill in flipping ages, touch wood. We were touching wood so many times this episode. The superstition's getting to us.